Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about my cars and my trucks and my motorcycles and my adventures. Yeah, hey, good morning. Thank you for tuning to my channel here on Ice Age TV, and I can't say Happy Memorial Day. How do you say, Happy Memorial Day? I don't know. That's just kind of me. It has like a positive, negative message, if you know what I mean by that. But anyways, hey, thanks for everybody tuning my channel. If you're a first-time subscriber or viewer, appreciate you giving me a chance to share with you what I talk about and think about, and that's what it's about. It's about me trying to share what I think about with the state of the times and the cars and vehicles and trucks among us. And I thought to myself this morning, wow, how appropriate on Memorial Day that I have a Jeep. Think that through. What's the longest surviving military branded product in the market? And I thought I'd have to say it's Jeep. I mean, sure, there's other things out there, but for me, and my Jeep Grand Wagoneer, which I just truly love, is right up here in my mother-in-law's driveway. And that is such a great vehicle. The thing is so powerful. That vehicle is so powerful. That Hurricane motor, inline 6, twin turbo, that's a winner for me so far. And yeah, I mean, just a great vehicle. I've been driving the heck out of it down here. And I've been driving the race truck, but wow, look at the weather. Yeah, a whole different ball game. I have to honestly say that this is the first time that I've been in Tennessee in no-ride motorcycles. Yeah, this is the first time for me come down here, and the weather in the projects, I mean, good Lord. I spent a lot of time here on Friday and Saturday taking care of my mother-in-law's house, because sadly my father-in-law, who is a military veteran, who was buried in a veterans cemetery here right in Johnson City, Tennessee, is no longer with us. And we lost him sadly coming up 7 years ago, December 29th, 2017. So if anybody watched my channel, my condolences to anybody there that's lost a loved one, especially a military loved one. So yes, I went out of my way to really try to get my mother-in-law's home cleaned up here. So I did a lot of power washing and cleaning, and I went out and bought some outdoor furniture. Yeah, look at this here. So we've got our own little private area here now. Went out and bought a bunch of plants, and just trying to really clean this area up and give it some energy, and bought a cow picture. Thought it'd be appropriate. So yeah, I spent all day Saturday cleaning this whole area down here. I should probably have the before and after pictures, but whatever. But it's for me to help my mother-in-law take care of a really beautiful home, and I'm sure my father-in-law would appreciate that, for such a beautiful home he bought for my mother-in-law and for me. When I heard he bought a 6-car garage house, I was like, wow, this is a 6-car garage house. And my father-in-law was not a guy of a guy who went out and bought cars. That guy kept cars forever. Wow, so yeah, so here's the thing. In all sincereness, to those who watch my channel, I wasn't even making a video today, because I just really have been so overwhelmed with taking care of so many responsibilities down here. Time kind of researching content and info to kind of try to give a theme. But this morning, at the last second, I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and make a video and talk about the Jeep product in general. And I'm no Jeep expert by any means for the military Jeep that was used in the military, but that was a key product, I guess many could say, that helped the military personnel and people out on the battlefield and at the camps and all our stuff. Oh, the race truck. This truck is so much fun. This dang Ford truck. This truck is so much more fun than that Super Snake Shelby truck I had. And it's basically half the price. And just a great Great truck, and I used it to do a lot of projects. If you kind of tuned in to any of my short videos, and gas down here under $3. And some people on my YouTube channel are reaching out, and they're commenting out in California, $5-6 gas. Wow. But anyway, you know, we've had rain now all day yesterday. Heavy rains yesterday. I went to church over there yesterday. Beautiful church. And then right now it's kind of misting, raining. And so just no adventure time, which that's fine. I really did want to spend more time trying to clean up the area. Like last night, I actually cleaned all these garage doors. I mean, they were just trashed. So I went over them, and just little things that add up to anybody has a house, they know it's never ending. The dirt, right? And so, if also you're watching my channel, you'll see that I drove a Slingshot and debated, do I buy one of those? But the schedule was just too hectic. And if I even would have bought one, I wouldn't even have time to use it because of the rains. So that wasn't really meant to be, even though on Friday, or Thursday, I should say Thursday, was the day that, hard for me to believe, it's already Monday morning. We got down here Wednesday, and it's already time to go back. Now, here's the other story. My Ford Bronco Raptor, that's sitting at the Ford dealership because it has a valve cover leak. And even the tech thinks there may be a hairline crack in the valve cover. So the local, Friendship Ford here in Bristol, Tennessee, they ordered a brand new valve cover and valve cover gaskets, and they put urgent to be shipped as fast as possible. That happened Friday morning. We were hoping on Saturday that would come in. It didn't. And so now for me, it's not a huge leak, but it's leaking. And so for me, it's, do I drive the vehicle back or do I leave it here because the part isn't going to come in today because it's Monday and it's Memorial Day? Even though I'm truly stumped that so many businesses are open down here. Up north, a lot of the businesses up near that Arlington Cemetery, the biggest national veteran cemetery, over 400,000 military buried. Think about that. Close to 500,000, people buried in Arlington, Virginia, up near where I live. Wow. So there's so many more ceremonies, so much more recognition of today up there than it kind of seems down here. The motorcycle dealership's open, the car dealership's open, the service department's open. So wow. So the whole point is they're open and willing to work on a truck, the parts. But now here's the dilemma. I need to get back up north to take care of property and business. So do I take the Bronco back and drive it back up north, 400 miles, with oil leaking out of the engine? I just think that's a huge mistake. It isn't so much that the truck is going to have an issue of losing all the oil. It's more about me, just all the oil being sprayed over that hole underneath that vehicle. It's just going to be coated. Because that oil leak really didn't start until like halfway down or further. So it was like the last 100 miles when that thing started leaking. So to drive back 400 miles, that oil leaking out of that valve cover, I just think it's going to be pitiful. It's just be whatever. So I'm not going to do it. So I may just have to leave the Bronco down here, and then I may have to drive back next weekend when it's fixed. I think that's the better decision. On the Bronco, who would have guessed, right? I mean, for me, I was more focused on the Jeep Grand Wagoneer at first, of it maybe breaking down because it's so new. And I've talked about this before. Every time I get a new car or even a used car, I typically drive those vehicles a good 1,000 miles or more, just so that if anything's going to go wrong, it happens sooner than later. I'm sure if anybody out there's own cars, you know that story. So anyways, back to the Jeep brand. I mean, I think it's pretty cool that Jeep's true foundations, right, in so many ways you could say it was part of the military and the well-being of the security of our country, of the individuals. I mean, how many Jeeps were built? I mean, I wonder how many stories out there. Sadly, so many veterans have passed, they could tell you the stories about them driving around these Jeeps. I mean, I wonder how many, truly today, if they're alive, like, oh yeah, but we all know that thing would beat the crap out of you. I mean, right? I mean, isn't that kind of where it is? But I get my phone put down because, boy, I tell you what, walking around, I know for a fact that people watch my channel. One gentleman's like, man, you walking around like that, it truly just makes me nauseous because you're just walking all over the place and it's hard to follow you. And, yeah, I get it. So as this constant back end is changing, you're like, wow. Yeah, no, apologies for anybody here watching the channel for getting motion sickness as I walk around trying to do my thing. Can I get it up here? Maybe I can put this behind my Dodge Charger, little die cast thing here. And will that work? Does that work? No. Maybe you're watching my channel. If you're not laughing your ass off about this, about right now. So here's a guy on a YouTube channel. He's on vacation. He forgets to bring his tripod every time. And yeah, and so it's, so here we are. Oh my gosh. So anyways, back to the Jeep brand. But this is pretty incredible thing about the Jeep product, how far along, I mean, what it grew from. And you can take that so many aspects of just the military, of the technology. I mean, more than ever, it's incredible what our military has. And I'm not a military guy. I mean, in hindsight, now that I'm older in life, would have been pretty neat for me to have gone to the military just to learn so much more. I think that would have been. But it just really wasn't the family, even though my father, former Army Guard, Air Force, Air Force Guard, I guess. I can't remember the exact word. I've talked about this before. My dad, even though he was in the service for when he was younger, and my uncle, and everybody here, I think, watching my channel can probably honestly say they have a family member or uncle or aunt or somebody that's been in the military. And once again, the Jeep product is what kind of made me think that correlated to the military. But I think to myself, more than ever, the drones, the technology that is out there, and anybody that's a military person watching the channel, I'm sure they're like, oh yeah, it's just incredible what is at the disposal of military people's hands today. And what's pretty incredible, per se, we're not really in any major wars besides behind the scenes of this Ukraine-Russia war. But for the most part, it seems like our country really kind of has. I mean, the Afghanistan was the last. I mean, because you look at that as a war versus more of just trying to keep the Middle East in order in some aspects from the radical terrorists. I mean, that's, I guess. So for me, I'm not the military expert. I never looked at Afghanistan being a threat to our country directly as far as them showing up with military warfare. Sure, I understand the terrorist bombers and that stuff, but I'm just saying the jihadists, all that. But I'm saying versus you think to yourself, if we were to war with China, we know that the potential of their warplanes or military, or their navy, or other things that could possibly be on our own turf, which has never really per se happened in our country since when's the last time a foreign country per se was on the American soil? Besides the British, the Revolutionary War. I mean, wow, isn't that something to think about? But yet, more than ever, do we all kind of feel that the powers that be in our country seem to waver in some aspects? We kind of think that China will be on our doorstep one day. I mean, it kind of gets deep, and I'm not going to go down that path. But more of anything, it's all about the Jeep brand being part of the military veterans, and for all the military people that sacrificed their lives and sacrificed their lifestyle because of going overseas to other countries to try to restore law and order. I mean, isn't that what it's usually all about? That we get into these military confrontations with other countries, and we're trying to establish law and order to that country be under better governing policies where we're not concerned about we're more concerned about our well-being long-term, but hopefully it's a more stable country. I mean, hello, Iraq, right? Hello. I mean, what was that all about, right? I mean, so So, anyways, the military people today, I'm sure that have served, I'm sure that in some ways you have to step back and evaluate what we see here in our own country today. You just think to yourself, wow, I went and fought and sacrificed my life in so many aspects because people got injured. I mean, mental issues, physical, issues. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. But yet, here in our own country, we're witnessing where the law and order seem to be wavering more than ever. Isn't that something? I mean, wow. Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow. Here, I would just be interested to hear anybody out there watching my channel that weighs in and says, yeah, it's pretty incredible how I went overseas to borderline third world countries to reestablish law and order in these countries, but yet here in my own country now, I'm witnessing in so many aspects where I feel like the law and order is our next greatest challenge more than ever. And what's driving that? I mean, is this being driven because you have more than ever people that are in power that have never been in war, have never been in the military, that never have seen what starts to come from lawless societies, on how the riffraff and the bad start to overtake the good? I mean, I don't know. I'm no military expert. I'm no governing body expert, but it's just ideas and views. And how does the Jeep brand tie into this? Well, not so much. It's just more about me thinking to myself this morning, hey, the Jeep brand. Hey, the Jeeps are for me are a lot of fun. The Jeep brand, even though I got the Bronco, and I'll tell you all day long, the Bronco is the better of the two. But at the same time, the Jeep's a fun product. And yeah, I've had that. How many times I've had that conversations? And yeah, what do I own now? Right? How many Jeeps do I own? I got the Jeep Mojave, which is the Gladiator, I should say. And I got the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And would I take a 392 Jeep? I would. Yeah, I'd pick one up. I mean, why wouldn't I? Because it'd just be another notch in my book to say I got the V8 Jeep, baddest ass Jeep Wrangler ever built. Yeah, I mean, they're pricey, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, in some ways, part of me is like, why did I buy another Bronco? I should have bought a Jeep 392 Wrangler. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, yeah. Well, who knows? Does that play out down the road? You never know with me, right? Yeah, so anyways, not really a long video this morning. I just kind of wanted to reach out and just honor those and think of those that perished from being in service, and thinking about my father-in-law who he was a helicopter pilot, and he used to tell me stories, and sadly one of his good friends in the military died next to him from taking 18 years old. He's up there flying a helicopter, and his I don't know if he was 18 or not, but his friend was 18 years old and took some hits from the ground, shots on the ground, and pierced his body, and then eventually he died in the hospital. So who doesn't know all these stories, right? So, but once again, it's about honoring my father-in-law, who was a great man, that was a very dedicated person. And I just think to myself some days, what would he be thinking today if he was alive still, and he was witnessing what we were all witnessing in our own country, what seems to be such a lack of respect more than ever for our country. It seems like more than ever that the respect for our own country is degrading. And I just think there's some of these people out there that have these views and ideas that are radical. And why don't they go overseas and start putting their life on the line for the countries that would like to ruin our country? So why don't you just go overseas because you think our country is not the right country, and go jump on their side of the equation and see how you're treated? I mean, I'm sure anybody who's a military person in this country will be like, yeah, right. These people need to wake up and find out. You go to these other countries, the respect. Yeah, you think, wow, right? It gets deep and heavy, and I'm not going to do it. I'll probably get the channel flagged, and I don't want to do that by any means. Once again, I wasn't even going to make a video today because it's Memorial Day, and it's all about honoring those who have fought for us to have our freedoms and rights, which is really powerful. And the cars that we own and things we have, those are our freedoms and rights in so many ways. And that's what makes us so independent, for our passion and love for the different vehicles we own and the freedom for us to get in our car and drive anywhere we want. And that's not necessarily true in any country you go to, because you'll be concerned of your well-being driving on the back roads that you'll be shot and killed or mugged and robbed. Who doesn't know these stories? In this country, we're blessed. You can get in your car, your motorcycle, and you can drive down the back roads, go anywhere you want. And for the most part, you're going to be okay. I can't say that is the way it is the rest of the world. All right, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching my channel. And once again, just wanting to honor all military people today, thinking about all of them who have given so much to serve in our country. That's very nice of you. And condolences to anybody here that lost their loved ones through the military. And once again, it's about my father-in-law, honor my father-in-law, and go by his grave today and visit him and think about and pay my respects to him. So once again, thank you for watching my channel. Appreciate all nice comments, the support. Share the channel. Have a great day. God bless. Stay safe and stay tuned.